Hey everyone, it's your girl Maddie here, aka Beavermosh, and today it's everyone's favorite. It's my end of the month segment. It's Maddie's monthly metal mentions, where I look back. This time I'm looking back at August, talking about the records that I really dug, but didn't get to do a full video on because I can't. I'm a one-person operation. Stuff on this list doesn't necessarily mean they were less than ones I made a full video of. I just need to talk about them, and this is the way to get it in rapid fire format. So let's get on with it. We had Blight the Way from Blight House, some overtly disgusting death metal out of Rhode Island. Check out the interview I did with these guys. We had From the Bowels of the Earth from Hallucinate, just some really cool kind of spacey German death metal. Howling Gale from Ancient Torment and Haxan, a split record from these two lo-fi black metal artists out of Rhode Island. And then out of Brazil, Shades of Sorrow from Crypta, just some really well-written, well-performed death metal. Terra em Desapego from Besta. This is some Portuguese grindcore madness for you. And then Tumulation put out Haunted Funeral Creation, just some smoky death doom coming out of San Diego. We had this new record from Dymna Lotva out of Belarus, and I'm sorry, I don't actually know how to pronounce the title. It's in a different alphabet that I can't read, and I don't think it'd be right for you to try. But anyway, this is some really cool post-metal leaning doom. And then we had Dam Buster from Warhawk. This is just some dirty, full energy, speed, heavy metal out of Sweden. Just a ton of fun. The Natural World from Moray, some Utah-based black metal with some thrash elements thrown in. This is some super aggressive, super intense black metal, but also pretty melodic at times. Then we had blackened cerebral riffs from Dead and Dripping, some New Jersey-based brutal death metal, but a really unique and kind of progressive take on brutal death metal. My Enemies Look and Sound Like Me from Werewolves. This is just some rude, pissed off death metal coming out of Australia. And then Temple of Dread Beyond Archaron. This is some big, brash death metal coming out of Germany. Our Dark Lord and Savior from Anarazel. Some old school occultic black metal, really evil stuff out of Australia. And then Begravement, horrific illusions back in, just some fantastic, memorable death metal from a rather young cast out of St. Paul, Minnesota. We have the self-titled demo from Earthen Altar, this haunting US-based atmospheric black metal. And then we had Hekser, Sigils of the Abyss, just some harsh black metal coming out of Mexico. Dogma Torrestis from Uncaved, some cerebral but also pretty bludgeoning progressive death metal out of Switzerland. Then Kaita with Trhä. This is some dark death metal infused sludge out of Finland. Godthrymm, Distortions out of the UK. Some really nice doom metal, leaning more into that epic interpretation of doom. More Trhä, yes, even more. I don't know how Trhä puts out so much music. I don't actually listen to every single one anymore because I can't keep up. But I really like this one. No idea how to pronounce it. If you know how to pronounce this, please tell me. The Catacon and the Unending Fire from Pyrkagion. Just a really sweet black metal EP out of Washington, featuring a member of Bellwitch. And then we had Spirit Adrift, Ghost at the Gallows out of Austin, Texas. Just some soaring, kick-ass heavy metal that this band has already really shown that they are very good at doing. Ontological Mysterium from Horrendous, this US-based band, some of the best in the business at making really experimental death metal. This really rules. Then we had Seeing Through Fire from the Cleveland-based Ringworm. These crossover thrash / metalcore in the best interpretation of metalcore. Before you cringe, veterans of doing that with some more ferocious tunes. Bees made honey in the vein tree with Aeon out of Germany. Some haunting, hypnotizing, atmospheric doom with some experimental and some post-metal leanings. And then we had the self-titled EP from Doomsday, just some no-nonsense, enraged, Oakland-based crossover thrash. Sorrow from Nebula Orionis, just some mournful, ambient black metal out of Russia. And then As the Ashes Settle from Orphalis, some techie, leaning, brutal death metal out of Germany. Meurtrières, Ronde de Nuit, some traditional French heavy metal with that high fantasy thing going on. Then Nixil, From the Wound Spilled Forth Fire. Check out my interview I recently did with this band. Some hazy, mystifying, dark black metal coming out of Baltimore, Maryland. Unholy Deification from the Pennsylvania-based Incantation. Some evil, punishing death metal from a big name that has been doing that thing for a long time. We had Grand Cadaver, Deities of Death-like Sleep, some dark, bludgeoning Swedish death metal. Grave Ripper, Seasons Dreaming Death, some filthy, jagged, blackened thrash out of Indianapolis. And then End Style with Detonation, some haunting, slow-burning, grainy black metal out of Germany. Necro Insanity from Crystallar, some ripping Belarus-based black metal. And then we had the newest from Blut Aus Nord with Disharmonium Nahab, French-based band. Got the poster here. Clearly love them. And I think this is their weirdest yet, and I fucking love it for that. Sculpting from Time from the Finland-based Asphodelis. If you like that real gothy, fit for fall death doom, then this is definitely going to do it for you. Then we had Scepter from the Washington-based Vision Master, some epic sci-fi leaning proggy heavy metal. This kicked so much ass. Insatiable Thirst from Torment from Celestial Sanctuary. The buzz is deserved and real for these old school death metalers out of Cambridge. We've got some more great depressive atmospheric black metal from the Quebec-based Nordic Winter with the Mournful Dawn. The Banishing from Italy's Bottomless, some trad doom, very Sabbath-y. Has that vintage heavy metal feel. Then we had Svinger, The Doctrines of Figures of Kronberg. This is some orthodox, cultic, aggressive black metal out of Slovenia. Sun King from Sweden's Mooncoven. If you like that more psychedelic stoner doom, stoner rock thing, this is a record you're probably definitely going to want to check out. And then we had Of Darkness with Miss Tridentia, some Spain-based depressing funeral doom metal. Blight Year from British Columbia's Anti-God Hand, some post/atmospheric black metal that kind of leaned to the darker side of both of those modifiers. And then we had Aradia from Stygian Fair, some Swedish traditional vintage heavy metal hard rock with a kind of smoky veneer to it. Human Extract from Atoll, some rough, gruff, brutal death metal out of Phoenix. Then we had Hephaestus from Heimdall, some over-the-top fantasy-esque power metal out of Italy. I have such a soft spot for stuff like this. Slaughter of Human Offerings in the New Age of Pain from Dominus. This is just some blistering black metal out of Poland. And then we had Image from Chicago's Hypomanic Daydream. Death metal, yes, but also a lot else going on. It leans really heavily into like a hyper pop territory. Probably isn't for everyone, but I would at least recommend checking it out. And lastly, we had Ydalir from Skalmode, some rousing folk Viking metal coming out of Iceland. And that concludes my list. Hopefully you may have found something that you missed or something that I piqued your interest with. Let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. It would mean the world to me if you'd consider subscribing. Leave a comment, basically if you checked something out or if I turned you on to something new from this video, please tell me. I love getting to engage with that. I have a Twitter you can follow. Link to that is in the bio of this YouTube channel. I have a Patreon now. You can support the show that way if you so choose. No pressure. Don't expect anyone to feel like they have to, but it is a way for me to try to get some sustainability with this thing. And hey, keep it metal. My name is Maddie, aka Beaver Mosh, and I'm signing off.